प्रवासी प्रजातियां जो होती है पक्षियों में, जलचरों में, प्राणियों में, और जो अनेक देशों में जाते हैं, ऐसे सभी का संवर्धन और संरक्षण करने के लिए एक संस्था यूएन की काम करती है, कन्वेंशन ऑफ माइग्रेटरी स्पेसीज ऑफ वाइल्ड लाइफ। तो इस का अधिवेशन, ये 13वां अधिवेशन है। ये इस बार भारत मेजबानी करेगा। ये गांधीनगर में होगा, गांधी मंदिर में होगा, और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी इसका वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस के द्वारा उद्घाटन करेंगे। गुजरात के मुख्यमंत्री भी रहेंगे। बाहर के देशों से 15 देशों के मंत्री आ रहे हैं। देश में 18 राज्यों के वन एवं पर्यावरण मंत्री आ रहे हैं। 130 देश इसमें सहभागी होंगे। इसमें एक्सपर्ट्स, रिसर्चर्स, तज्ञ, वैज्ञानिक, स्वयंसेवी संस्था, सरकारी संस्था और अन्य संस्थाएं भी शामिल होती है। इसमें अभी तक 1800 लोगों ने रजिस्ट्रेशन किया है। 600 लोग भारत से बाहर से आएंगे। और इसमें जो थीम है वो अतिथि देवो भव के पर निर्भर है। दे कनेक्ट, these migratory species connect the world, and together we would welcome them at home. तो पृथ्वी उनका घर है और किसी भी देश में जाए उनका स्वागत है। एक सभी सृष्टि को हम बता रहे हैं, और ये मूल भारतीय मूल्य है कि पेड़ पौधे, पशु पक्षी, प्राणी, जलचर सभी हमारे हिस्सा है प्रकृति का। हम जैसे प्रकृति का हिस्सा है वैसे वो भी है, और इसलिए एक दूसरे का जीवन एक दूसरे पर निर्भर है। ये मुद्दा है। आपको याद होगा 6 महीने पहले ये दूसरा कॉप है जो भारत ने मेजबानी की है। पहले जो जमीन खराब होती है, लैंड डिग्रेडेशन, तो कॉम्बैटिंग डेजर्टिफिकेशन, इसके बारे में एक यूएन का अधिवेशन हुआ था जिसमें 170 देश आए थे। उसका भी मेजबानी भारत ने की, और आने वाले 2 साल के लिए ये कॉप 14 था, ये कॉप 13 है। तो कॉप 14 जो यूएनसीसीडी का था उसका भी भारत अध्यक्ष रहेगा, और आने वाले 3 साल ये माइग्रेटरी स्पेसीज का भी अध्यक्ष भारत रहेगा। इसमें प्रदूषण से जो समस्याएं पैदा हुई है, जलवायु परिवर्तन से जो समस्याएं पैदा हुई है, और विज्ञान ने जो नए तरीके खोजे हैं जिससे कि यह संवर्धन ठीक होता है, ये सब इसमें चर्चा होगी। आपको पता है भारत में वल्चर्स, गिद्ध, इस गिद्ध का डाइक्लोफिनैक पशुओं को दवा दी जाती थी। उसका मांस खाने के कारण 4 करोड़ जो गिद्ध थे वो 4 लाख भी नहीं बचे। तो उसका अब संवर्धन शुरू है और वो भी अच्छी तरीके से सफल रहा है। ग्रेट इंडियन बस्टर्ड, जिसे हिंदी में गोडावन कहते हैं, इस गोडावन की भी लगभग प्रजाति समाप्त होने पर थी, लेकिन उसका भी राजस्थान में संवर्धन हम कर रहे, जिसमें 11 नए बच्चे पैदा हुए हैं। अमूर फाल्कन लाखों की तादाद में वो अमूर चाइना के एक विभाग से आते हैं और नागालैंड में एक ही जगह वो घर बसाते हैं और हर साल वहाँ से निकल के साउथ अफ्रीका जाते हैं, सोमालिया तक जाते हैं। तो ये पक्षियों का प्रवास बड़ा रोमांचक होता है। जैसे अपने हाईवेज है वैसे फ्लाईवेज है उनके, जैसे एयर का भी फ्लाईवे होता है वैसे ही इसका भी फ्लाईवे है। और फ्लाईवे में ये 9 फ्लाईवेज है दुनिया में, उसका एक एशियन फ्लाईवे हमारे यहाँ आता है। तो ये अमूर फाल्कन का भी बहुत सारी उसको मारकर खा रहे थे लोग, लेकिन समाज में ही नई चेतना जगी और जिसको वो मारकर खाने की चीज समझते थे उसको मित्र माना, तो आज बहुत अच्छा संवर्धन वहाँ होता है। गंगा डॉल्फिन का भी पुनरुज्जीवन एक तरह से स्वच्छ भारत मिशन के कारण हुआ है। मुरारी बापू जी ने जिस तरह से सभी फिशरमैन कम्युनिटी को एक अपील किया और व्हेल शार्क जो है वो व्हेल शार्क को संरक्षण करने का उन्होंने कसम दिलाई, तो लोग जाल में फंसे व्हेल शार्क को छोड़ देते। ऐसी अनेक कहानियां हैं, उस सब की चर्चा वहाँ होगी। हर देश अपने अनुभव साझा करेगा। ये एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण उपलब्धि है। भारत की इसमें रुचि है और प्रधानमंत्री जी की विशेष है। उन्होंने इंडो पैसिफिक ओशन इनिशिएटिव 2 साल पहले लॉन्च किया है। तो ये और अभी इस कॉप में भी एशियन सेंट्रल एशियन फ्लाईवे के बारे में हम एक अगुवाई करके कुछ न कुछ अच्छा काम तय होगा। सो फ्रेंड्स, India is hosting COP13, Convention of Migratory Species of Wildlife. This includes birds, animals, mammals, and aquatic. This will happen in Gandhinagar from 17th February to 22nd February. And first 2 days, 15th and 16th, will be pre-COP discussions amongst the ministers and officials and organizations. But this main COP will be attended by more than 1,800 experts, bird lovers, and those who have studied into this, and various intergovernmental organizations, international organizations, because this is held under UNEP, United Nations Environment Program. And more importantly, Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, will inaugurate this through video conference. Gujarat Chief Minister will be present there. We'll have 15 foreign ministers and 18 state ministers from various states. More than 130 countries will participate. And the theme of this is an Indian ethos like Atithi Devo Bhava. In English it is said, they connect the world and we together welcome them home. So that's the theme. The mascot of this is Gibi, the great Indian bustard. And this ethos, India always believes in nature as our part of life. So be it trees, be it animals, mammals, birds, and even fisheries. India is the only country which worships all of them. This COP is in succession, second COP in short duration. the first COP14 of UNCCD that was combating desertification. And 170 countries attended it, we hosted it, and now we are president for next 2 years for that COP on desertification. Now we'll host this migratory species, and this will give us presidency for next 3 years. The conference will discuss various aspects of challenges and opportunities of how to preserve the migratory species from the threats and opportunities to help them so their number grows. And India has already presented a good success story of this. Vultures which died because of diclofenac served to animals, and when carcass of buffaloes were eaten, consumed by vultures, 40 million vultures reduced to not even 400,000 vultures. But we are now again doing all our bit to improve the condition, and it is improving. The GIB also, there is great success story of GIB conservation. Amur falcon, which comes in millions in Nagaland from Amur of China, and then they fly to Somalia, South Africa from India. 160 hours of non-stop travel. So we have also established all that, and there are social movements also, like Murari Bapu has vowed fishermen to protect whale shark. If they found it in their net, they'll leave them in the seas. Snow leopards, and there are many other things. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also initiated Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative, and this COP will also see India's emerging leadership in Central Asian flyways. So this COP is very important, and we welcome everybody in the COP, and I'm very sure that this COP will be very much successful. So that's all from my side. We have Amy Franklin's Acting Executive Secretary of CMS. I welcome Amy, and she will also speak to you for a few minutes. And then, if there are any questions, we'll take. Yes, कैसे शुरू होता है?
Amy, you can speak?
Yes, thank you so much. You can hear me okay?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Minister Javadekar and all of the team that is there. It's very nice to be linked up with our new technology from Bonn to Delhi, so I'm glad we could make this work, and it's a pleasure to meet you in this way today, on this auspicious occasion on the eve of our upcoming conference in Gandhinagar. So I just would like to share a few key messages about the upcoming Convention on Migratory Species Conference and highlight a few facts for the media. I also want to thank the media for being there today. It's very important to have your help as partners to raise awareness about the situation with migratory species, why it matters so much, and why this meeting is really setting us on an important new course for the future. So first of all, we call it in shorthand the CMS COP13. In February, next week, or at the end of this week, this meeting is going to kick off what's being called the Super Year for Biodiversity 2020. It's the first international conference about nature and biodiversity and what we need to do to better protect our biodiversity and our species. It will culminate in a major meeting at the end of the year, which is expected to adopt a new global strategy for the decade on biodiversity. So our COP is setting the stage, and it is the only COP that is focusing on the issues of migratory species. The second point is that migratory species matter. Migratory species affect everyone all over the world, and thus the theme of the COP is very fitting, that migratory species connect the planet, connect all of us, and together we need to work together to ensure that they have a home, that they can come home to. So it's a very fitting theme. But the fact is, currently, the science is telling us that all is not well, and that greater action is needed to protect migratory species and halt biodiversity loss. I'm going to pause and just see, is there any issue with the microphone? Is it okay?
Yeah,
It's okay. Okay, very good. There was a recent study last year by the UN that found that we are in danger of losing 1 million species around the planet to extinction if we do not increase our action now. So this is really challenging us at CMS in particular, since we are the only global convention that deals with the protection of migratory species and their habitats. We also have a new report that we have been working on at CMS, which indicates that despite some very good successes, the populations of most migratory species that our convention covers are declining. So we must invest more action, more resources to address the issues facing these species. Now, the CMS COP in Gandhinagar will do a number of important things. I won't list them all, and there's information in the media packages, but among the outcomes we expect are the following. One is that we'll have 10 new species that are expected to be added to the convention, including, as has been mentioned, the Asian elephant and the great Indian bustard, which is the mascot of COP13. There's also concerted actions, which are detailed commitments with respect to conservation plans for 14 species. There will also be a focus on emerging threats to migratory species, including light pollution, plastic pollution in terrestrial and freshwater environments, and the impacts of road and rail infrastructure, among others. CMS COP will also have a high-level segment with many ministers, as well as the heads of every biodiversity convention that deals with species and in some way or another, including CITES that deals with trade, the Whaling Convention, the Wetlands Convention, and the Convention on Biological Diversity. We will all come together to show the joint collaboration that is needed to take us forward. I will close by saying that with the leadership of the government of India, we are confident that this is going to be the most successful Conference of the Parties ever in the history of the Convention on Migratory Species. We are very excited to work with the government, not just at the COP, but also in the 3 years following COP, when India takes on the important role of the president for the Convention on Migratory Species. So we greatly look forward to seeing you soon. I'll be flying tomorrow, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you, Amy. We are also waiting to welcome you because all our guests are experts, and this will lead to further strengthen our mechanism to protect our environment, and therefore we are also eager. Questions? किसी को सवाल है तो?
Yes, Prince. Yes, gentlemen.
I have two brief questions. One, if anybody from UNEP or CMS can answer that. So,
I am now the UNEP chairman.
okay, great. Okay. So my question, both my questions are to you then. First is that many of India's neighbors, especially to Southeast Asia, China, Nepal, Bhutan, are members of CMS in a limited way through MOUs based primarily on marine turtles. How does this impact the mandate of CMS? How does it impact its functioning? And is the CMS Secretariat doing anything to add more members to it? That is the first question. The second question is, so one of the proposals of India this time for CMS is to include Asian elephant in the Appendix 1 of the convention's text. Now, at the same time, in India, elephant reserves, elephant corridors lack any legal sanctity under Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Prime elephant habitats, whether it's in Talabira, Odisha, or
You are asking question.
Yes, so how do you reconciliate these? How do you reconciliate these two different policy positions on elephant, one in CMS and one within India?
Said, yes, there will be 10 new species which will be added to, which you will get to know at the time. And more importantly, Bhutan and other states, other countries will also, Bangladesh also will be a regular full-time member. So our cooperation is as one unit, and we are, because birds or mammals or aquatic, they don't understand or they don't limit themselves to one boundary of one particular country. They go across, and therefore this is exactly why the world has to come together to protect environment. Yes.
प्रकाश जी कौन बोलेगा? प्रकाश जी, मनोज बैनर्जी बोल रहा हूँ. अच्छा सुन, you know about the Jatinga? It is in the North Kachar Hills, 7 kilometers from Haflong. There are in every September there are lakhs of migratory birds are coming from all over the world, and people say that they are committing suicide. But scientists are there. I have gone there. 40 scientists are researching on that from different countries. Do you have any information whether they are really being committing suicide or being killed? Local people are killing them for meat.
Yeah, that's a new information, personal information which you are giving. We'll definitely take note of it and will also convey you.
21.
Oh, I'm sorry. To Jacob from the Hindu, 2 questions. Last year we had this very sad catastrophe of nearly 20,000 migratory birds dying in Sambar in Rajasthan. So I wanted to know if this issue will be taken up or discussed or analyzed in more detail as to what caused them in the migratory species. And second related question is, India has plans to, the Supreme Court has now cleared the introduction of the African cheetah into India. But so are these issues, will this issue in terms of habitat, etc., be also discussed as part of the proceedings, sir?
As far as Sambar Lake is concerned, as you know, that this was out of one particular bacteria, an infection which spread, but now that has been already treated, and there will be no problem from next year to migratory birds.
105.
Cheetah we are discussing in the conference itself, because the threatened species also includes that.
Sir, this side. Sir, सीधा. सर आकाश श्रीवास्तव हूँ, मैं फ्रीलांस जर्नलिस्ट हूँ. सर मेरा बेसिक 2 सवाल है कि इस पूरे कॉन्फ्रेंस में टोटल कितने देश हिस्सा ले रहे हैं, और दूसरा जो विलुप्त प्रजातियां हैं, जैसे आपने गिद्ध का भी जिक्र किया था, विलुप्त प्रजातियों को लेकर सर कोई रेजुलेशन पास होगा क्या? थैंक यू सर.
इसमें 130 देश भाग लेंगे, और दूसरी बात महत्वपूर्ण है कि ऐसी विलुप्त होने वाली प्रजातियों को संरक्षण देने के लिए ही ये कन्वेंशन बना, और ये कन्वेंशन के एक्शंस के कारण बहुत ज़्यादा अवेयरनेस आया. सारे कंट्रीज़ ने अपने कार्यक्रम कमिट किए, और इसी के कारण ये आज फिर से पुनरुज्जीवन होता हुआ हमें दिखाई देता है. तो यही गति और बढ़ाएंगे.
So Namaskar, Sanjay Agarwal. So earlier the greatest bird जो watchers थे, they used to be at Bharatpur and nearby places near Delhi. So there was the great Indian Siberian crane. Uska abhi, how are we going to encourage bird watching in India?
We want to promote bird watching everywhere because our whole lifestyle is pro nature. As we grow into cities, then it becomes problem and we get disconnected with the natural world. Otherwise, in villages, 600,000 villages have all living together and they have a very symbiotic relationship with the world around, which in cities that becomes a problem. So we are creating new spots where they can watch birds and they can promoting also ecotourism so that people go nearby and can watch and observe.
Last question 104.
So my name is Kamalji Singh. My question is in regards to, there are scientific evidence available that bird flu was spread through migratory birds. And there is also a possibility, I don't know about it, but there is a possibility of this coronavirus may spread due to, through wild animals, migratory birds. Will this, phenomena will be discussed and some solution will be worked out in this conference?
Let us not create a fear psychosis. People are watching, experts are watching, and there is no connection of coronavirus with this species, and therefore this conference will also deal with various kinds of infection, new threats, new viruses, all that is the subject, and therefore from 17th to 22nd, this will be 6 days main conference and 2 days pre-COP. So those of you who will be attending there will definitely listen to all this and you can take it. So for TV, 2 minute का हिंदी और 2 minute का इंग्लिश.